I keep my goals to myself, cause whenever I share it with folks, they get a look upon their face and their memory floats to a time where their goals and the stars ain't...
Smackdown is the worst wrestling show of the week. It sucks. It genuinely sucks. It's bad. And it's been bad for basically 2 years now. And nothing can save it. SmackDown has been dead for 2 years. There's no revival that they can do for SmackDown. It's done. It is done. This show was bad. This was a bad show, right? There were a couple things on the show that I liked. You know, Trick Williams getting that hometown ovation and everything. That was great. I love that. Ricky Saints and Carmelo Hayes. That should be a pretty decent feud. And everything else on this show after that was just a waste of time. We all know that Gunther is going to be the one to dethrone Cody come Clash in Italy. It's going to happen because this is really what Gunther beating Goldberg, AJ Styles, and John Cena and retiring all those guys for him to become a WWE Undisputed champion, right? That's why he moved over from Raw to SmackDown. It's going to happen. You might as well have it happen anyway. Because like Cody, Gunther is a work rate guy. Now, I like Cody, not his booking, right? I'm a fan of Cody Rhodes. I'm a fan of his work. I'm just not a fan of his booking. And that's what I criticize the most, is the booking of Cody Rhodes. So, when Gunther beats Cody next weekend, that needs to be it. If you want to do another match, that's fine. But after that, there needs to be a feud or a list of feuds for Cody Rhodes to be a part of until he can regain the title, which basically, in my opinion, should be really at WrestleMania 44, right? So Cody Rhodes should not even be thinking about this title for a long time. So hopefully Randy Orton at some point in time will show up and we can just go ahead and do the Cody Rhodes Randy Orton feud for a while. Seriously, I'm not going to hold you up. The feud doesn't need a fucking title. We just need to have the feud, right? And not the bullshit that we got at WrestleMania 42, night 1. That shit was awful. But it's inevitable that Gunther will be the next WWE Undisputed champion. It's going to happen. Triple H is going to go ahead and pull that trigger, and there's that. I think the only saving grace that we could do, possibly, maybe you bring CM Punk in at some point on Friday nights. You make him part of the Blue brand. And from there, some way, somehow, you have him versus Gunther. Maybe at SummerSlam. So Gunther shouldn't really have a long reign as champion. I'm going to give him basically about a 3-month reign, which would be like a transitional reign. Because SummerSlam's in early August anyway. So you might as well have Gunther just hold it until SummerSlam. Then he loses to CM Punk. And then we build for Cody Rhodes and CM Punk. But maybe you don't do it at WrestleMania 43 in Saudi. Maybe you do it the following year, next WrestleMania 44. Wherever that's going to be held. We don't know the location. That's in 2 years from now. But that's what I would do. That's the saving grace of this. But man, this show was awful. It was awful. So, Yeah, so we're going to get into Smackdown from May the 15th, 2026. Oh, boy. So we kicked this show off with Trick Williams. He got the hometown welcome he deserved. So Trick talked about being from the area. He talked about when he came up with the name Living Peppa Steppas. He asked everyone to look at the star you created. So The Miz showed up, along with Kit Wilson. He had some words for Trick Williams. He said, Miz told Trick that his whole career is going to look like rejected mascots from his daughter's birthday party. The Miz asked if Big Bird's going to come out next. Kit Wilson didn't like Lil Yachty mouthing off, so he read an insult poem to him. Lil Yachty fired back with some of his own. And it was pretty okay. It was actually pretty okay. Then he made fun of the Miz for having tiny balls, and then that pissed the Miz off. And then Miz mentioned Trick Williams' mama. He wanted to call a ref out, and then that's when Trick backhanded Kit Wilson, which was hilarious as fuck. I love that. He just backhanded the shit out of him. That was hilarious. And then Trick ended up doing a clothesline to the Miz over the top rope. And then this leads us into the first match of the night. Trick Williams defeats the Miz. So this was great. The Miz, towards the end of the match, tried to bring in a kendo stick and use it. Lil Yachty got involved, took away from him, and beat the shit out of Kit Wilson with it. And then Trick hit the trick shot for the 1, 2, 3. So good stuff there. I like that. I like what they're doing with Trick Williams. Good stuff. Good stuff. If you hate Trick, you got a fucking issue. You need to go seek therapy. You need to be on somebody's couch for a couple hours. Seriously. Because Trick is great. Moving on. So, Carmelo Hayes is back, finally. He's been gone for a little over a month. I was getting kind of worried about him. So, he was interviewed backstage by Kathy Kelly. She asked him about facing Ricky Saints. Carmelo Hayes said that he's been gone for a month and he's watched Sami Zayn make a mockery of the U.S. Championship. A belt that he took so much pride in. So, Ricky Saints walked in and said that he didn't even get a familiar hello from him. Carmelo Hayes said that he's not running for president, but he's rather focused on regaining his title. Ricky Saints says that the world is different since he's was around, and there are a few new tenants. Carmelo Hayes said he's the landlord of the arena. I like that. He said that this place has a way of humbling people like Ricky Saints. And Ricky Saints said that Carmelo Hayes needs an absolute lesson. So I like this. This needs to be a good 2 to 3 month feud and not just a one and done match that we got on this show, which was fine. But we need more than that because both guys are good. I'm a fan of both guys. And this is what we need in that mid-card, right? So I like that. Moving on, this leads us into Nick Aldis. He chats with Rey Fenix briefly. Sami Zayn shows up. Sami Zayn told Nick Aldis that he knows that he lost his match at Backlash and he's ashamed of himself and that he did things out of character. Sami Zayn said that the pressure of people telling him to do things differently has got to him. Sami Zayn said that he has to go back to doing things the old way. So he asked for another rematch. Nick Aldis says he already had his rematch, so now he has to earn his additional rematch. Sami Zayn asked if he hasn't earned more than the last couple of years. He said his ride or die fans don't forget him. Sami Zayn said he wants to redeem himself for them. Nick Aldis said Sami Zayn's clearly dealing with some stuff, so his advice was to go deal with it because he's sensing some entitlement from Sami. So Rey Fenix walked in and said that he doesn't even recognize him anymore. So I like this. This is good. So Sami Zayn is conflicted. We should get a full-fledged heel turn at some point, which is fine. I like this, if we're being honest. So good shit here. We'll see where this goes. Moving on from that, this leads us into Brie Bella and Paige. They were interviewed by Kathy Kelly, talking about how the target on their backs keep getting bigger and bigger. So Brie mentioned the Judgment Day, and then Lash Legend and Nia Jax, they walked in. They said that they are going to get a title shot and start the next main event. So they hope they retain their titles tonight. So whatever, who cares? Brie, Bella, and Paige, they defeat Kianna James and Giulia to retain the tag team championships. Who really cares? It's not really that important. They're still building tension between Giulia and Kianna James, which is fine. So, all right. Whatever. Moving on from that, this leads us into Tiffany Stratton. She was interviewed backstage by Kathy Kelly. About how she fits into all the alliances as a singles champion. So, in the background, Giulia and Kianna James, they're arguing quite loud. Tiffany said that she'd just be fine on her own compared to them. Chelsea Green walked in and said that she was just talking about how she doesn't like to be partnered up. Chelsea Green said that they've been bickering since Tiffany beat both of them. Tiffany said that some people are obvious not meant to be a team. Chelsea Green said that that's true, but it's not true with regards to them. Tiffany said that's right because we're not meant to be a team. And Tiffany walked away, and then Chelsea Green told Kathy Kelly that's so like her to joke like that. So I like this. This is cool. I'm down for this shit. You guys know I'm a big Chelsea Green fan. I always have been for a while. Even in her time in TNA when she was Laura Van Ness, the drunk bride. That was great. I love that. So good stuff. I like this. This really could work. It really could work. So I do like this. I'm intrigued by this. I'm actually quite interested in this. Moving on, this leads us into Cody Rhodes. He shows up next. Alright, so he wanted Gunther to come down and sign the contract and everything else, so, it is what it is. I don't care about this. So Gunther shows up, and he wants Cody Rhodes to give him respect. So Gunther basically made fun of America. Gunther said that this is his title match. And Gunther said that it'll be his title after they wrestle. So all he wants Cody Rhodes to do is address him nicely and be professional. And don't forget to say please. I'm like, dude, are we 5? Like, what the fuck? This is so dumb. So Cody told Gunther that he's the one who convinced Heyman to do this favor. When he gets his title shot, he didn't even earn. And he wouldn't sign a contract last week, so apparently he won't this week. So he needs to be in the ring and sign the contract. Cody said if he wants him to say please, then fine. He said please, sign the contract so he can get his ass kicked in Italy. So, he called him Mr. Gunther. I'm like, what the hell? So then Royce Keys showed up, which was pretty cool. He stared down Gunther, and him and Gunther were having a tug of war over the pin to sign the contract. And so Nick Aldis came out and said, Gunther, we don't play those types of games on SmackDown, so this is what we're going to do. It's going to be Gunther versus Royce Keys The winner of that will be the new number 1 contender to face Cody at Clash in Italy. So, there is that. So, whatever. Oh, boy, this is bad. I feel so bad for Royce Keys already. I feel bad for him. I really do. And then Cody told Royce Keys that he's easy to find but difficult to beat. So, whatever. I don't care about this. Moving on. Another thing I don't care about on this fucking show is Sikoa. So, Sikoa told Tama Tonga backstage that his assignment is to take out Damian Priest. And he told Tonga they should go talk to Royce Keys now. And then Nakamura walked up, tried to talk to Tama, and then Tonga attacked Nakamura. So officials ran in. So there is that. All right, who gives a shit? Moving on. Nick Aldis told Gunther again that he overplayed his hand and now he has to earn a title shot. Gunther said that Nick Aldis should be thankful to have him on Smackdown. I don't care. Moving on. Carmelo Hayes defeats Ricky Saints. Match was pretty okay. He ended up putting his foot on the bottom rope to secure the victory. Okay, whatever. That's fine. So Carmelo Hayes cheated a bit to beat Ricky. All right. Okay. That's fine. Moving on. R-Truth thanked Royce Keys for helping him fend off the MFTs. And he offered him an application to the clubhouse. And then Royce Keys said he'll think about it. So, whatever. So, this leads us into Damian Priest. He walked up to R-Truth and asked, what was that all about? R-Truth said that Royce Keys is going to join the new Judgment Day 2000. Damian Priest said he wouldn't even touch that. Damian Priest said that Royce Keys hadn't earned his trust yet because the MFTs go after everyone but Royce Keys. So he told him to be careful. Damian Priest reminded R-Truth that he's not medically cleared and he can't even go to the ring. Whatever happens will happen, but Truth is safe. And then Damian Priest walked away, and then Truth yells, "I love you." All right, that's fine there. Okay, moving on. This leads us into Danhausen. All right, that's fine. So Danhausen is in some type of area somewhere backstage, and he's making a time machine. No, not a time machine of sorts. Actually, my bad. So Danhausen is backstage in his lab. He's going to build something bigger and better. And then he brings in a gurney into the ring. And then he types something into the computer. And then that lit a spark. Okay, whatever. This is fine, I guess. Moving on. Damian Priest defeats Tama Tonga. I didn't even watch this shit. I don't care. I really don't. And then the MOTs beat up Damian Priest post-match. Whatever. Who cares? Fuck this shit. Moving on. Sami Zayn, he vented to Johnny Gargano that things aren't like they used to be around here. And guys like us feel it the most. So Candice LeRae showed up. And she said that she is entitled to a husband who does more than just lie around every week. And then she stormed off. So, whatever. I don't care about this shit. I don't. Moving on. This leads us into B-Fab. My bad. Jade Cargill and her baddies. So, Jade Cargill was about to cut a promo. She didn't really get to say much. She was interrupted by Charlotte Flair. Her and Jade had some words and everything else. Charlotte Flair called Jade and her crew backup dancers and everything else. Saying that they are always doing Jade's dirty work. So, whatever. I don't care about any of this stuff. It doesn't matter. Moving on from this leads us into a Mariah May vignette. So, this is great. So, I'm loving these. We should get her in the next couple weeks, maybe. Moving on, this leads us into Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair, they defeat B-Fab and Michin. So they win via DQ because Jade Cargill gets involved. Whatever. I don't care about this either. Moving on, Fatal Influence, they're backstage. They were interviewed by Kathy Kelly. They issued a warning to the women in the locker room. That's only a matter of time before they all fall at their feet. Okay, now, moving on. This leads us into Charlotte Flair. She's backstage with Alexa Bliss. She told her that last week she tolerated Rhea, and she is working hard at becoming a team player. But where is she this week? Charlotte said that they've been outnumbered the last 6 months. Alexa Bliss said they were outnumbered and Rhea owes them one. I don't care about any of this shit. I really don't. Apparently they're going to have a 6-woman tag at Stardust's main event. It's going to be Rhea, Charlotte Flair, and Alexa Bliss versus Jade Cargill and the Baddies. Alright, whatever. I don't give a fuck about this shit. This is lame. Fuck this shit. Moving on. This leads us into Solo Sikoa. He approached Royce Keys backstage and told him not to listen to Jacob Fatu, but listen to him. Solo said together they can take over everything. He said he'd hate to see what happened to Nakamura happen to him. Royce Keys says he's got things handled. And Solo said that Jacob Fatu said the same thing. Main event of the evening, Gunther defeats Royce Keys. The MFTs, they end up getting involved and costing Royce Keys the match. And Gunther wins via a fucking powerbomb. Yes, not multiple powerbombs that he's done in the past, but one fucking powerbomb. Man, fuck this shit. This is so stupid. Why even do this? Why even do this? So, they're going to be feuding Solo Sikoa and Royce Keys, which is dumb. So, post-match, Cody Rhodes comes out and he attacked Gunther. He hit him with a crossroads, and then that was it. I don't care about this. This is lame. This is lame. Smackdown sucks, man. Smackdown sucks. It truly does suck. It does. Honestly, it does. I like what they're doing with Carmelo Hayes and Ricky Saints. I like what they're doing with Trick Williams. Everything else, I mean, I also like what they're doing with Fatal Influence. I like how they're using them, so that's good there. I'm just not a fan of Solo Sikoa feuding with Royce Keys. I hate that. It's pathetic, but what can we do? But SmackDown continues to be the worst show of the week. And it's a waste of time. But what did you guys think? Let me know. Like, comment, subscribe. Peace.